Hi everyone, it's Fitz with the post-game talk. This power talk's a little late, so it's less powerful than normal. I told Ryan Gilbert, don't do a talk last night after Kansas State lost to Wichita State 84-65. Let's let cooler heads prevail, and I'll do it in the morning. And I had to wait till almost noon to do this, because cooler heads aren't prevailing, but I'm going to do my best, because the state of Kansas State basketball is a total, complete mess. And now we're left wondering, how bad is it? Not necessarily, can this team fix itself? That was last week's question. But after losing the last three non-conference games to St. John's, Drake, and Wichita State, losing all three seemed absolutely impossible, if not improbable, for this team. And they did it. They're 6-5 going into Big 12 play. This team isn't going to the postseason unless there's a miraculous turnaround, one that would be just totally unpredictable at this point. So what can be done? What's the best solution? If this team isn't going to find itself and suddenly rip through the Big 12 and look like the team we all thought it should be and were sold on, then what is the best case scenario from this point on? Now, I know a lot of you are already saying fire Jerome Tang. Again, that's not happening. And saying so right now, it isn't really helping. It makes you feel better, but having that out there doesn't help in any way. It does help you, again, emotionally. But for better or worse, he has a new contract with a high buyout, and he's going to be here for a while. So what does that mean? How can K-State make the best of this situation? Well, I'll handle off-season stuff later. But this season, here's my first thought. Anyone on this roster who is having a negative effect on what you're attempting to do, whether they're uncoachable, unreliable, not a good teammate, gone. Just get rid of them. What's the worst going to happen? You're going to lose games? Focus your attention on the guys who have something to give this team, whether it's a veteran like David Gasson and Coleman Hawkins, who I'm going to say played a pretty solid game against Wichita State. Scoring, not so much. But 9 rebounds and 8 assists, well, that moves the needle for me, and I'm impressed. But, Brendan Housen's a younger-ish guy who can help you out. But we saw it yesterday with Macaleab Rich, a guy who came back to play for Coach Tang after his freshman season. In fact, he was the one of the 3 freshmen we thought would probably leave, and he's actually the only one who stayed. He's been a fan favorite. He gets to do the dunk after every warm-up session before they go to the locker room, and then not play. And he plays hard. And he scores. But he's not doing something right, obviously. And he played 19 minutes. He came in the first half and absolutely lit a fire under this team. He played in the second half quite a bit. He was 8 of 13 from the field. He was 3 of 5 from three-point range. I don't expect those to be common numbers. Shooting that many shots from outside is not his MO, but he was highly effective. And that's a really good sign, because the team was 9 of 32, meaning without him, they were 6 of 27. That's well below 25%. Awful. 20 points, didn't rebound particularly great, was okay defensively. I don't know what's going on with him, why he's not playing. But he's a sophomore. David Castillo was really bad yesterday, and it's not going to be his mode of operation. His MO is going to be at much higher level. He was 0-8 from the field, 0-7 from 3. But they played him 21 minutes. Why? Because Doug McDaniel played 5 minutes and 24 seconds. So the last game, they had great success with Doug McDaniel, David Castillo, and C.J. Jones. Their 3 primary ball handlers on the court together, and put Brendan Housen aside, which I think he's been playing too much. He's a nice weapon to have, but not a complete tool box out there on the court. Doesn't defend at a high enough level. Handles the ball okay, but had a key turnover yesterday. I like that mix. And now Doug McDaniel hardly plays in this game. Something's going on. There's always something going on. There's never any rhyme or reason to the outsiders, to the outside view. The coaches know what's going on. They know why they're playing guys and not playing guys, but it's baffling to everyone else. This isn't a well-coached team. It's just not. They don't seem to know what they're doing on either end of the floor or execute it. And as much as we want to focus on the bad shooting, at the end of the day, what's really killing this team is bad defense, which is supposed to be a strength of this coaching staff. Right? And it's not. This team can't defend. The second half just collapsed. They had a lead at halftime. They ended up losing by 19. Kind of the same thing that happened against St. John's, but this was against a far less talented team. Jerome Tang, he said he expects a nice crowd for the Cincinnati game. They opened a Big 12 play on December 30th in Bramlage. I don't. Students will be gone. Still the holidays, and people are pissed. People are pissed not because K-State basketball isn't good, but because it was supposed to be good. We were sold on a plan, what turned out to be a very expensive plan for donors. And that plan isn't working. And it's not just not working at Kansas State, it's not working across college basketball. You can't buy success. Kentucky appears to be the only program having some success with this. You have to have foundational pieces in your program around which you add transfer portal. This doesn't work, and it's just handing out money for guys to then not have to perform. But they don't get paid if they're gone. And you better start using that tool. You better start using that. It's time for changes. The coaching staff isn't changing right now, and certainly Jerome Tang isn't changing in the near future. So how do they fix this? It's time to find out. It's time to stop doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. The results are clear now. This ain't working. Let's change something. You got a few days now. You got a week. Get better. And sometimes getting better is by getting rid of things that are holding you back, whether it's players or anything else. 6-5. And a roster that supposedly cost $5 million. Oh, man.